Pisces Rising, Jupiter, your chart ruler, will be in the sign of Leo in your 6th house from July 2026 to July 2027. I'm Sook Boy, you're awesome. Let's talk about it. Typically, the 6th house represents your health, your lifestyle, and how you put together the hours of your day, your appointments, your routines. So therefore, it also represents your daily tasks at work, not your career, but the things you need to do every day that make up your lifestyle. It also represents your relationship with pets. For the last year, Jupiter has been in your 5th house of children and passion projects. So you could have been incubating some kind of entrepreneurial creative outlet or something that you wanted to launch into the world. Now, as Jupiter moves into your 6th house, it's asking to maintain that vision for yourself potentially, and also refine the skills, the practical skills you need to fulfill the outcome of what you've got in mind. Now, Leo is a fixed sign, and so therefore it kind of responds pretty well to a routine. But it's very important to understand that when Leo is vibrating at a very low frequency, it can be seeking out validation or recognition from others. So you need to be kind of careful of that. Leo actually likes to take the spotlight. It represents what we pay attention to as well. Sometimes that can mean it's very performative. Leo is charismatic. Sometimes it can be very dramatic and generous more than anything. It's rather regal, and it might actually ask you to be a little bit more confident with your lifestyle. And again, take the initiative, the steps you require to feel better about your lifestyle. So think about what is the perfect day and how can you strive towards that. Jupiter can represent expansion, and so it also represents indulgence. So you need to be careful that you don't overindulge with your diet or your exercise or your workload in this time, because it can definitely blow that up. You may realize in this time that you've actually been overcompensating and doing a lot of other people's work that you're not responsible for. When this epiphany dawns on you, you might realize how overwhelmed and overworked you actually are. Leo's really shiny, and so you could actually find that there is a desire to make your body look and feel a lot better in this time. This could have a snowball effect, and you actually overcommit and overdo it when it comes to trying to take care of yourself. So easy as she goes. You only have to do one thing at a time. You don't have to overwhelm or overcommit to going to the gym and changing the diet. Try to have a bit of sturdiness when it comes to timing out how you want to go about doing that. Jupiter is commonly associated with luck and opportunity, right? And sometimes that's not the case. Ultimately, Jupiter is trying to teach you something. So rather than receiving or expecting that you will receive success, recognition, or validation, it's more about what is the meaning of your lifestyle? And again, using your accumulated wisdom. And that basically includes thinking about what you've learned. What have you learned up until this point, and what can you integrate into your daily lifestyle and your routines and your appointments and what you're ultimately consuming? Errors and mistakes equal wisdom, and wisdom actually accumulates very slowly over time. It's not instinctual, so to speak. So one would assume you can expect some expansion and a lot of attention being drawn to this area of the chart over the next year or so. Now, Jupiter is the ruler of your 10th house of Sagittarius and your 1st house of Pisces. It's your chart ruler. It's a very important planet, and wherever it is in the chart actually requires a little bit of TLC, let's say. And with Jupiter, your chart ruler, moving into Leo, it's going to inject some of Leo's themes into your 1st house of Pisces and your 10th house of Sagittarius. What does that mean? Because Leo is confident and brave, you may be asked to be a little bit more visible in your life. And that starts with how you're putting together the hours of your day. You actually might be exposed to public speaking or publishing an article, of writing or teaching in front of people. Look, I'm not sure, you tell me. The 10th house represents your life direction. Sometimes that can include your career. Overall, it's your public reputation and how visible you feel like being in any given moment. Now that Leo is somehow influencing this 10th house, it will ask for courage, bravery, generosity, and wisdom in this area of your life as well. The Sagittarius 10th house is asking for exploration, to expose yourself to different worldviews, to expose yourself to different philosophies, and some kind of narrative arc. What have you got in the horizon, and what do you want to actively move towards? Sagittarius and Jupiter both represent consultation, publishing, broadcasting. And again, more than anything, the meaning of your life, the meaning of your direction when it comes to the 10th house. Now, the 6th house and the 10th house are known as practical houses. And this basically feeds into your career or your life direction or your life path forward, meaning that whatever you commit to in this 6th house, whatever you can refine and basically build up experience in and expertise in, you can actually transfer that over to the 10th house. So think about the perfect day and think about what is the priority of your day, and think about what you are confident, enthusiastic, and optimistic about when it comes to your daily tasks. And how do you transfer that into making this a career, making this a pilgrimage to something bigger than yourself, contributing to society, having a duty to society, for example. It all starts with your discipline and how you actually behave on a day-to-day basis, and the cumulative compounding effect of that and how that plays out in your career and, again, life direction forward. So you may find an expansive effect happens in your career. You potentially are becoming overcommitted in your career, or you're given some kind of regal prestige, privilege, more roles, more governance over your life direction, and potentially even governing or managing other people within your career. You could be teaching them, consulting them, giving them advice, so to speak. Both Jupiter and Sagittarius are visionary, and so having a vision and stepping into that vision, having a 5-year plan and being confident and brave and courageous and generous with your time when it comes to your day-to-day, so you can actually achieve what you want to achieve. At the end of the day, it's all about meaning and finding meaning in the next 5 years of your life, potentially. And this is the perfect opportunity to motivate yourself and lead by example, inspire others with your actions and your words, and explore and discover new areas of your life that you actually want to make a pilgrimage to. Where do you want to go? What do you want to see? What do you want to achieve in your life? This is a fantastic time to really think about that and start stepping into that version of yourself that is on the horizon. Broadening your vision, broadening your horizons is what this next year is going to be about. Last but not least, Jupiter is injecting Leo themes into your first house of Pisces. And again, Jupiter is your chart ruler, so this is really important. Pisces is a very complicated and unique sign. It dissolves boundaries. It's deeply compassionate. And so you might find that there is a lot more confidence in being compassionate and understanding with others. You might actually find that you step into a more spiritual meaning around your identity. You actually find some kind of ideology or spiritual framework that allows you to surrender to who you really are and accept who you are. And again, be very confident about that. But again, you need to be careful of expansion of the body. This can mean you're overcommitted, or you have indulged in something that actually expands your body. Maybe your weight fluctuates in this time. Because Jupiter is ruled by the sun, it's a solar sign, it represents our ego. So you could experience within your identity, if you're not careful, that your ego actually is inflated in this time, and people might perceive you as a little bit more arrogant. So again, lead into the more compassionate, understanding, energetic signature that is Pisces. There is a line your identity will need to draw in the sand by being not walked all over, not becoming a victim, and standing up for what you believe in, but not coming across too dogmatic or blunt. Now, Pisces is an extremely intuitive sign. It rules over dreams, for example. So again, with that Sagittarius house having a bit more confidence, that 10th house, this first house will want to embody your visions of the future. Or some of you will actually reflect deeply on the past and find meaning, accepting or surrendering to why events happened in the past and how that brought you to the point you are in life. Now, both this Leo 6th house and your Pisces 1st house, they're very creative. Leo is all about self-expression, which is the opposite to depression. So expressing yourself in this time is going to be really important. Pisces' version of creativity is just extremely unique, a bit quirky even, looking at things differently, looking at things with a little bit more depth. And again, with Leo having an influence on your first house for the next year, it's going to give you bravery, courage to explore your identity and potentially be more self-expressive, even if it's unique, even if people don't actually understand it. Sometimes it can even mean you're a little bit idealistic. Ultimately, what will Jupiter teach you about your lifestyle and how you're putting together the hours of your day? And how is that going to impact your future self and the ambitions you want to chase after? And how does that feel when you're in your body? Now, there will be loads of aspects that Jupiter forms, especially in the first month of July, which I will cover as we get to it. This includes, the opposition to Pluto and the South Node also moving through your 6th house. If there's one last thing I can leave you with, explore your identity in every moment and appreciate every moment and nurture yourself. It's not about eating nice, delicious food. It's about how the food makes you feel at the end of the day. Again, Leo and Jupiter is all about vitality and energy and libido.